Everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Chumps channel. Today we're gonna take a closer look, or basically we're gonna do a recap of Star Wars Rebels Season 4, Episode 3 and 4, which are really good episodes. I really enjoyed them, much better than the previous two. Next to me I have my really cool, just received Sabertrio Skylar lightsaber. I figured out how to do the RGB setup, but I just set it back to red because I'm a Sith. I'm a bad guy, so hey, I'm gonna keep it Sith red. Really nice saber. It even looks a little bit like Ezra's lightsaber now. Just think about it from certain angles. That's pretty cool. So really cool saber. Of course, we're gonna cover that this weekend in a full review. So if you're interested, stay around and check that out. So this video is more about the recap of the new Star Wars Rebels Season 4, Episode 3 and 4. I think it was executed way better than the first two episodes, where we have the Mandalorian gathering or teaming up and fight the Empire. I know they're building up towards the fact that the Mandalorian armies or clans are gonna fight in conjunction together as a single goal against the Empire, to make a hold against the upcoming powerhouse of the Empire. So the episode 3 was a really nice episode. It was well executed. It was very interesting. In particular, I liked episode 4 the best. I have it in front of me, so I'm just gonna open up and then talk a little bit about it, because there was a lot of stuff that happened during those two episodes, and it's just a lot to cover in a single piece. But what I really started to see more was a potential direction where they go into with Ezra. I felt in these 4 episodes they predominantly showed Ezra with his speeder bike helmet, which Sabine Wren had painted in this nice colorful orange with yellow decals. And I think actually that Ezra is making the cameo appearance in Star Wars Rogue One, where he's wearing, there is a character with a black speeder bike helmet, and I think actually that is Ezra. I think he painted it black, maybe in remembrance, or maybe he painted black, maybe something happens to Sabine. He is heartbroken, and as a tribute to her, he painted his helmet black, and he's gonna side with I always keep forgetting Saul Guerrera. I think he's gonna side with him because he doesn't seem to see the same goals as Mon Mothma and the Rebellion. I think it doesn't make much of an impact for what Ezra wants to. He's a more aggressive guy. He is on the boundaries of being dark side or light side. He's still getting held in the light side for some reason, but with Ezra I never understand why he's still light side. I think by now he should already be consumed by darkness and hate. I think it's not going to reflect in he's joining the dark side. It's just going to reflect in that he's going to be part of that splinter group under Saul's command, and be very aggressive and take any measurements in order to make blows against the Empire. So from that sense, I think it really makes sense that the character with the black helmet that you can see very short moments in Rogue One is actually Ezra. And I think it makes sense also for the character progression and the way it's a Disney cartoon, and I think they might go into that direction. One thing I need to say, I have to get back to the remark that I made about it being a Disney cartoon. in episode 4, and of course if you're watching now you don't want to see spoilers or hear spoilers, then just skip this video going forward, check out the episodes first and then come back. But in episode 4 they blow up this satellite dish, and there are actually stormtroopers on there, and Saul throws some iron bombs or something down there, and you can actually see those stormtroopers trying to escape, and then they die. And I felt that actually that was pretty rough in my opinion when I saw it. That was less of a kids cartoon anymore. Like, I felt like, wow, that they really gone. And then especially on that ship, I forgot the commander's name. Ezra tried to impersonate that person when he replied on the comms via chopper, so they didn't give away their position on the satellite, but they still got discovered anyway. But that Star Destroyer was commanded by a person, I forgot his name, and he basically with his whole crew get blown up as well. And I felt, wow, they're really gonna make some action there. They really start to bring up the pace and the kill count. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. Also interesting to see the kyber crystal. I felt the kyber crystal was very, very big. I didn't expect the kyber crystals to be that big that powered the Death Star. Of course, the Death Star is a very huge device, but I thought more like what we saw in Rogue One, where some of the kyber crystals fell on the ground out of the boxes, and then you had these guys near the Hoover tank, and then they tried to capture all those crystals and get them off Jeddah. But those crystals were like this big on average, and not like that huge as on that transporter ship. So very interested to see. Also interested to see how powerful a crystal like that is from that size. It blew up and it had this amazing effect. It was like a slow blooming explosion effect, the same as you could see on Jeddah, where there was a direct hit on the capital of Jeddah. It only blew up that area, and everything like in an inverted gravity well. It just obliterated that place. It looked very beautiful. Like it was like a slow implosion / explosion. Yeah, very nicely done. I like the fact that Ezra's more in the foreground now again. I felt like the story was more about Ezra now and what he was doing and his actions, of course with Sabine as well, but I felt maybe more compelled towards Ezra. That's why maybe I feel like he was more in the foreground. I still very disappointed that Kanan took so much of a backdrop in season 3. Completely, he went blind and he was like a background character almost. He went a little bit more forward in these episodes. I think the upcoming episodes will be interesting, where we can see more of the dimensions or the relationship between Hera and Kanan. So I think Kanan hopefully comes back to the forefront and gonna lead some more of these episodes before the end of the season, because Kanan is my guy, and I just feel he's so underappreciated since the end of season 2. I felt like, yeah, it's just a waste of his character basically. I think he's an amazing character, amazing development he had over the first 2 seasons, and then they wasted it in the 3rd season quite a bit in favor of some of the other characters. But overall I think the episodes were very well executed. They're fun to watch. They're overall, yeah, just basically more of the Star Wars Rebel season that I really enjoy. The first 2 episodes were not bad, but it's the last season, so I want every episode to be crazy, mind-blowing, fantastic. I don't know if they did that in the past though. I never paid attention, but they seems to release it by 2 episodes at a time. I don't know if that was in the past as well. Leave it in the comments if that was the case. I never really remember it that way. It was always like 1 episode at a time versus 2. So I don't know why they crank up so fast on the episodes. I think they want to just close it out as soon as possible before The Last Jedi. Maybe it has to end really quick. Not familiar and a reason why. Let me just open episode 3 a little bit. I felt like episode 4 was something really rememberable. Episode 3 is a little bit lighter on my mind. I felt like this episode was really cool, but it didn't stuck as much as episode 4. I think because it had so much impact. Episode 4, we saw Saul, we saw that guy with 2 tubes. I believe they called it. Is his nickname. So that's really cool to see it. I like his spoken language. I think Two Tubes has it's just a fantastic looking character with that metal face and those small eyes. In episode 3 we'll also see Rex for a very brief moment. He still wear his clone troopers armor. It's interesting that we see Rex for like a very brief moment. It's just interesting how that works with the characters. Sometimes those characters are on the forefront for certain episodes, and then they completely dissolved and completely in the back end. I do hope there is something on Java 4. That's something I want to point out. I hope there's something that Ezra finds there. Maybe a Jedi Sith relic or something. I don't know. Java is a Jedi planet, I believe. So there's a lot of like these old Jedi temples and whatnot. So it would make sense that he will find some knowledge there, maybe, and he get drawn into it. Yeah, it's just it's a very interesting season. It's the last season. I just feel still that there's way too little about Kanan. Just Kanan. He was the main character in the first season. He was the man, and everything surrounded about him. And then it went to Ezra already in season 2. Very strong in season 3, where there was everything and nothing. And then now it seems like they're gonna shoehorn everybody's movie time in there, so everybody gets like a little bit of time to finalize their character development, I think, in a sort of way. Yeah, I totally see Ezra making that cameo in Rogue One with that black speeder bike helmet. I think it's him, actually, or I want to strongly believe it's him, and that makes me believe there's something gonna happen with Sabine more than so. I think she's gonna get it, and also Kanan. I think they put Kanan so much to the background with a special reason, so we are a little bit less invested in Kanan now. So it's a little bit less of a emotional roller coaster, especially for kids, when Kanan is gonna be. Because I think the most likely person that's gonna be out is Kanan, because he's a Jedi Knight, and he's quite powerful in his powerful. He's a Jedi Knight. He's skilled with the Force, and it doesn't fall into the whole canon thing. So I think what happened is somehow he's gonna sacrifice himself for. I think he's gonna sacrifice him for Hera. Something gonna happen between him and Hera. They might just make. We saw a teaser, if you didn't see yet, but it was about to happen between Kanan and Hera. We're gonna make a kiss, and then Zeb called up and interrupted the party. So I am curious to see what's gonna happen, but I'm pretty sure Kanan's gonna sacrifice himself for Hera, and I don't know what's gonna happen with Zeb. Maybe it's Zeb and Kanan together. I think they go out. And I think that's why it makes sense then that Ezra is going full time with Saul, because he finds Saul having the right cause and the right direction of fighting against the Empire, especially after Kanan is gone. He doesn't have the guidance anymore, and he makes his own decision, and he's quite aggressive by himself. So it would make perfectly sense that that's actually going to happen with Ezra. He's going to side up with Saul. He's going to go incognito, doesn't use his force powers anymore like Kanan did in the earlier time, where he hid his lightsaber, didn't use his force abilities, etc. I think that will gonna happen with Ezra as well. He's just gonna blend in with Saw and fight as a splinter group against the Empire. And he keeps that helmet and he painted black because I think maybe something happens to Sabine, and he does that to honor her and Kanan, potentially. So I think it will be super exciting season, super exciting. So I hope you guys keep watching this episode as well, because it's gonna be kick-ass. And I just want to round this up by saying that the solos hold Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger's lightsabers are nearly complete. I just deposited my last 50% for those lightsabers, so I'm pretty sure Aaron is about to push them out. Saberforge at the same time come with their Ezra lightsaber. I think they're gonna release it at the same time as Solos Hold releases their Kanan and Ezra lightsabers, and that is a reason behind that is because there is a backstory behind the issue between Saberforge and Solos Hold. In the past, Solos Hold bought some Starkiller lightsabers from Solos Hold, and Saberforge, I mean Phil Isherwood, and he recasted that from Solos Hold because they got into a dispute, and Phil boasted about the fact that he could do a better job for a lot less money and put it on the market much cheaper, and he is actually out there to hurt Solos Hold at any chance he can. So don't be surprised, Phil is waiting to release that lightsaber till Aaron from Solos Hold released it, their Rebels lightsabers. And that's the reason why I also say it, because the main lead designer from Saberforge, I forgot his first name, his last name is Snyder, he said it's already completed for 99%. So that last percent is just waiting for Solos Hold, and then Saberforge is going to promote their lightsaber as the cheap alternative. Look at us, we put this on the market for $150, Solos Hold is $350, and we have this amazing Ezra Bridger's lightsaber. That is Saberforge, that is Phil Isherwood, and don't be surprised, it's actually going to happen. So hope you like this recap of season 4, episode 3 and 4. I will do that going forward because, I mean, Star Wars Rebels is really dear to my heart. I really like them. I'm gonna play some more with this fantastic saber from Sabertrio. Full review of this beautiful saber will come this weekend, and hopefully you gonna take a look. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day, and see you next time. And as always, stay scummy.